Hey, what's going on, guys? It's me, Train Man, and welcome back to TRS 2006, otherwise known as the Zombie Train. Now, remember how I keep saying we're gonna do Bear Mountain or Grizzly Peak? Bear Mountain. I keep calling it that. Grizzly Peak in one fell swoop in an hour and a half, 2-episode session. Yeah, well, I didn't have an hour and a half once again. So I decided that one of the only things left to do was down here. The other option was the other mountain that's opposite Grizzly Peak. I don't think we have a name for it. But the other end of Skyfall Ridge, or well, I guess the middle of Skyfall Ridge, which we may have to add to in the future depending on how much I dislike how the area looks. I mean, frankly, I think what I'm going to do is, once I've locked in an area, I'm just going to ignore it until I move this to TS12 and we have to do the whole rebuild, which could be in a while, to say the least. But, yeah. So I just put some grass down. Now, I don't like this grass. I really don't. But I don't have too much of an option because I already put it down in Sesquica, and I mean, ideally that other darker grass on the hill would have made for better grass. Oh well. We're stuck with this grass. Either way, it's going to look better when it has some trees on it. Preferably a lot of trees. So we're going to figure that out once we actually start putting trees down. Now I'm going to use the tree selection there as our tree selection, I guess, so that I know I'm not using any assets that I shouldn't be using. I know Schlick told me how to go in and see, but I haven't actually gone through and done that yet. Also, the content manager and options selection thing is all very broken, so I'm not too hot on trying to use that right now. So we filled in the bottom of the lake with the same stuff because I didn't feel like going down to the big lake and and getting the stuff that I used for the bottom there. I do notice, however, that there's that blue stuff that's kind of etched along the edge there, just along the edge of the river, and that needs to be paid attention to and cleaned up. And I clean it up mostly on this side, but the other side is left untextured because there isn't enough over there for me to draw what it's supposed to look like from. Also, I don't feel like it. Fill in that bottom bit there, even though I probably could have done that in a different way, maybe a better way. But either way, these are going to be the riverbanks. I stop about there, switch back to the other side, and then never touch that side for the rest of the episode. I was a little bit rushed getting out of here. Ending the episode and getting to where I had to be. So this is all rocky, I suppose. I could have done it differently, but oh well. When you have a steep river, I guess it'd be fast flowing, so it would carve out these channels instead of sitting kind of up on the surface. Oh no, I guess I do. I could have sworn I don't finish this side, but I might. You never know. Could stop there. But I actually put a little grassy patch on top of there. You'll see that soon enough. And continue to make this all rock. Now, I get to the end and then I have a sneezing fit, so I actually didn't get to see what that looked like because I was closing my eyes because it was sneezing. But I fortunately let go of the mouse button and didn't spray color everywhere, basically. I mean, I ended up coming back and doing a lot of the stuff. I'm really not sure how the area turned out, but I really think it's going to look a lot better with the trees. The only experience I have with really rocky areas is just maybe a week or two, well, less than 2 weeks, a week and a half of time out in Colorado, in that area, New Mexico, etc. Oh yeah, that moving the mouse around was me sneezing. It wasn't so bad, actually. It was no more than me when I lose control of the mouse normally. So, just, keep working, stuff like that. Just keep working, just keep working. A lot of it is this cliff area, and I really don't have much else to do in this area, and in fact, I'm surprised it took me as long as it did. The real thing that kept getting to me, which is why I'm swinging back and forth here and trying to figure out exactly what to do before I just sit down and fill this area in, is the fact that the grade differs so much between above and below the rails, which is big no-no, but it was done anyways. I feel like it should actually be the different kinds of terrain. So, above the dividing line that is the railroad tracks, it's more rock. And below, it's grass and trees. I mean, you could say that it was just sheer coincidence that a line was drawn there, and then we built a railroad track across it, but that's not true. Though no matter what, I feel like it's going to look like the slope changes at the point of the tracks. Just because of that. You ever seen the optical illusion with the pole and the arch, and you can't see the whole arch behind the pole because the pole's in front of it, but it's off center, and it looks like the two bits of the arch just can't match up because it looks like the pole is on center, and therefore the two different pieces of the arch are actually different heights, but they're not. The thing with that is, I feel like that's the same way with the slope on the mountain there, especially if it's not a constant slope, if it's a kind of curve. Anywhere you put that track along the curve, there's going to be a very, maybe not so subtle difference between above and below the track, and therefore it'll look weird. Though, frankly, when you're driving on the layout, I don't feel like that's going to get to you as much as someone who's coming on the layout and looking around for geological accuracy, I suppose. So I went and found this stuff. Now, this stuff looks kind of strange. It reminds me of... I'm not quite sure what it reminds me of, like some sort of alien goop. And I started experimenting with it using different shades, different scales, different radii. No, I don't think I changed the radius at all. But different scales, mostly, different places to put it. And once again, I think it would have worked better with that darker grass, but I actually didn't really think too much about that. I just kind of went and put this down. Now, I feel like it could have a use in the future, but we're going to have to go find it again, because I basically disregard it and cover it all up. So we fill this area with our very green grass. I'm not sure at what point I had my actual idea, but it must be some distance into the video, because, well, it didn't take me that long to do this. More video, before I found this stuff. This stuff looks weird. I don't think I left that there, though. It's cool, but it's not great. So I just start scrolling through looking for different kinds of grass to use. Past one there, which I was thinking about. Got this thing, which looks alright. Oh, it's the same. It's very subtly different. I think the only reason it's subtly different is because, what the heck is this stuff? Well, that's what I thought then. I mean, I came across that stuff and went, what the heck is this stuff? Put it down and realized, that's not so bad. But then I don't think I ever used it again. So I keep going, find this. Oh no, this is the very subtly different. No, sorry, no. The other one was the subtly different. That one's too light, that one's too dark. This one's just right. Maybe not. So, clearing up the too light and too dark stuff. with with something new, which actually does look kind of good, but I don't feel like having to blend it between the two or replacing everything, which this might just be the darker grass that's on top that I keep talking about. I never made the connection. And I don't think I ever look over there again. During this video, at least. So, instead, I keep scrolling through. I find this stuff, which is weird. I was actually considering this for some length of time, but once again, what dissuaded me was the fact that it was just a change of grass. And it wasn't a change of grass, but with a big dividing line in between it. It was just, a few yards. And then there you go. There's the next kind of grass. So instead, I think this is when I start to have my big idea, which is just use that grass and then save the monotony, or keep away from monotony by adding these muddy... stupid cat. Adding these muddy areas, I guess, and rocky areas to go with them, which are going to be not filled with trees, of course. Speaking of trees, I have no idea how the hell to use Speed Tree, but I'm just whatever. I haven't gone on TS 12 in a little while. Now, however, so yeah, no, we get those rocky areas, muddy areas, which aren't going to have any trees, and the rocky areas to go with them that don't have any trees, and that's what's going to be kind of the breakup of the monotony, as I said. And it looks like the stuff is, of course, flowing down towards the river, which is, correct, as it should be. So I eventually give up on the different kinds of grass, of course, as was said. And I fill in this area. I leave that dark stuff, which I had totally forgotten about until I went to do this post-commentary, and then realized was there. Maybe I should have left that little subtle variation in the grass colors. I found that if you layer stuff, it sometimes looks good, but it takes a lot of work to layer the edge of something. And it also takes kind of this precision that is far beyond me. So, surround the dirt and rock, because that's just how we roll. Once again, I was tempted very strongly to lower the areas that were muddy so that they actually looked like carved areas, but I might, if I plan for that in the future, I might have more variation in what the terrain actually looks like, and then work on it that way. See, something I haven't been doing, and I'm not really sure I know how to do, just because it's a lot of thinking and a lot of forethought, which, not only do I have difficulty with just because I'm simple, I don't do typically because there's a week between episodes, and therefore I lose track of whatever I'm doing, which is why this is very good when I can do a whole section or a whole mountain in one episode and just get it done and bang it out, and I don't have to keep tabs on whatever I was doing, or keep or rather remember what I was thinking, which is normally, not much, but man, I've been listening to too much car talk. I'm a lot with this self-deprecating humor right now. I was actually listening to car talk when I was making this, so that one might be what's making me do this. Either way, where was I? Yeah, no, this is much more beneficial than a live commentary. Although I never would have found it if the auto save didn't screw me over by breaking my synchronization by dropping frames. I'm just waiting to see what I do next, because the whole thing is just me working. Now, I had the idea, kind of a silly idea, because we do the Terminus podcast, and right after I was done with the one that came out last Saturday, I needed to spend the time and do the voice recording for last Friday's because of the way voice recording for like last Friday's Zombie Train video, I should say, just because of the way things lined up. Now, I don't normally do it in that order, but doing it that way gave me the vague idea to kind of put the two together. Not to put the two together, and also I've been asked to participate in a project where we will be putting the two things together. So fortunately, if that goes through, I'll have two times, maybe even more, 2 times the time to work on the Tamauros Valley Anaconda Railway, which is quite a project indeed. Although I was tempted to phase out or otherwise ignore that. To phase out or otherwise duplicate some blah. What am I trying to say? To duplicate this into a 2-episode-a-week thing, although that would involve phasing out another series, which I don't really want to do. It would also theoretically involve it would either be that or it would be doubling up on a video, and I already don't have time to make stuff, even though I really think I should have time because it's the summer and I somehow managed to not. Speaking of which, I need to put more time into voice acting on the pass, because I'm still working on mine alone, and I've gotten to page 25 out of about 100. So I'm a fourth of the way there, but that doesn't bode well for how I originally wanted to get this thing all done. And I don't want to do 2 segments at once, just because in case I change one, I don't want to have to change them all. So at some point, probably when I get back... by the way, I am not home right now. This is coming out on Friday the 18th, is that right? Or 19th? 18th. And I'll be away at RPI for a student orientation, and I'm going to have to get... which is why... well, this is being recorded ahead of time, of course, so that I can be away and not worry about missing videos, etc. The War Thunder video... well, War Thunder video is always already done like that, so don't worry about the War Thunder video. And the Kerbal Space Program video has already been done. That video. I apologize for my own failings in piloting a massive spaceship. Fortunately, we did not slam into anything. Also, at this time, I have seen... see, when I recorded the Kerbal Space Program video, I was talking about Kerbal Space Program 0.24, but I didn't actually know too much about it. Now I've seen the pre-release videos that Scott Manley and Danny have done. I did a bunch of research, and I was looking into a couple things. I'm not sure how well the mods are going to adapt to 0.24. It might take a little bit, especially getting everything integrated into career mode with the prices. I'm not sure how many mods, because I don't typically pay attention to the price of stuff. I'm not sure how many mods have already kind of factored themselves into that, or already set up their prices, but I know the ones that haven't better get cracking. No pun intended with the Kraken. Either way, can't wait until that's all done so I can do the Feed the Kraken series. Really not sure what we're going to do in the meantime. Oh yeah, no, I said Space Engineer. That's right. Now, I was wondering if anyone... now, I know the Kerbal Space Program people, the series doesn't get a ton of viewership, but I was wondering if that viewership would jump if I were to transition to a Space Engineers series. Maybe not perhaps instead, but temporarily for a decent amount of time, let's say from the beginning of school in August to Christmas, or perhaps even earlier than that. Now, on video game news in general, well, yeah, no, I was wondering if the viewership would escalate, or if anyone would be interested in me doing that, which I wouldn't be doing alone. I'd try to get some people in there, so that I'm trying to make my series a multiplayer, because, frankly, that makes them much more entertaining to make as well as to watch, just when you have more people instead of me droning on about random stuff. But talking about Space Engineers, just kind of to the guys, unfortunately it's I mean, not to say $20 is a lot for a game, and I'm sitting over here getting ready to waste some money on an Xbox One for Halo, what is it called? The Master Chief Collection. Sorry, I lost that in my head for a minute. Maybe perhaps not waste, but spend a considerable sum on that. Now, I wish they would do I wonder if they're doing a Master Chief Edition Xbox. I would cash in on that thing. But really, I'm just waiting for GameStop to do another sale on the Xbone. I do want it with the Kinect, because I want the full functionality of an Xbox One, not the limited functionality of a black box without any cameras or microphones. I was going somewhere with that, I don't remember. But, you know, in the NSA can spy on me all they want. On the other hand, you know, back to what I was saying. Space Engineers is a $20 game, which isn't much in the grand scheme of things. Now, I'm waiting for a couple of things for me to get a few things. One of them being Space Engineers, the other one being the Xbone, a third one being... totally forgot. But that's okay. I don't remember at all. It was another thing that I wanted to get, and I really, really can't remember what it was now, and that's kind of bugging me. Oh, right. Oh, yes. That's important. Trains a New Era. There's going to be a few things regarding that. Stay tuned into the Terminus podcast next week, because I'm pretty sure we're talking about something pretty big and pretty serious. If you like trains, if you're into stories, if you're into stories in well, it wasn't in trains, but there are some plans in the works involving stories and Trains a New Era and some people. And the person to be talking about that is going to be O'Gillies, who has been a guest on the Terminus in the past. He'll be filling in for TJ because TJ is away. Also, TJ will be phoning it in for the August 9th Terminus, or he'll be home, one of the two. So I'm glad there aren't two in a row without TJ, although I don't expect anything significant to happen that he would miss, because trade news is slow, as we all know. And so stay tuned, because I want to get that. I want to get the version with the more routes, because I like the routes. Although if the second, frankly, I don't feel the need to do it. I just want to have the more routes, but I don't need the more routes. I know I don't, because I spend more time making routes than I do actually playing on them. So that's that, and I frankly don't care as long as there's a big route. Like there was a what is it? The Razorback Classic is a great map because it's huge and has all the industries. It's kind of what I was thinking of when I was designing the Tamara's Vale and Anaconda, because once again, as I talked about last week, I wanted to make something where you could do anything in and not be worried about, oh, well, this map doesn't have blank. Now, right now, we're really worried about that because this map doesn't have anything. But once we get some industries in, then we'll be able to do some more complex maneuvers in terms of bringing trains different places, etc., etc. So, a session I was thinking about, just rather vaguely, was the idea that I could move, or I could swap the multiple industries to put goods into the narrow gauge, and then we could bring stuff up to the Susquehanna goods drop-off, but I don't know. We'll work on that later. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. It should be coming to an end very shortly as I fix up these last few bits in here, and we have a green area in which to put trees. It's like the green is signifying put trees here. And it looks a bit gaudy, but that's alright. We'll deal with that when we put some dark trees on top of it. The dark forest. Raw. Darkness. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Wait for it. Wait for it. Wait for it. Tram out.